Good morning. It's Monday the 6th of October 2025. This is my third day in the New Forest, and today I'm just going to take a little look around Lyndhurst, which is where I'm staying this week. But first, I think we're going to have a look inside the church. Good start. Church is open. Excellent. It's lovely and warm in here. As soon as I opened the door to come inside, I could feel the heat. Wonderful. Just look at these stained glass windows, aren't they fantastic? These beautiful windows were designed by William Morris and the fresco by Lord Frederick Leighton, said to be modelled on local people. St Michael and All Angels Church was built in the mid-19th century, although evidence suggests churches were previously found on this site. Absolutely heaps of information about the church here. I won't even try and read all of that. I'd be here all day. But yeah, fantastic. This is the Angel Chapel. The grave of Mrs. Reginald Hargreaves, the Alice in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Well, I found some notes online here about Alice's grave. So, Alice Liddell, daughter of the Dean of Christ Church College, inspired Alice's adventures in Wonderland on July the 4th, 1865. It's believed that while out on a boating excursion, Charles Lutwich Dodgson, better known as Lewis Carroll, told Alice and her sisters the fantasy tale of a girl named Alice, who fell down the rabbit hole and found herself in Wonderland. Alice asked Dodgson to write the story down for her, and the author eventually presented her with the first copy of what would become a literary classic. And that building over there is the King's House, formerly the Queen's House. Well, Alice Liddell was a resident of the New Forest, so when you walk around Lyndhurst, there are a few references to Alice in Wonderland, so let's go and have a look. So here is the Crown Hotel. Now, I first came to Lyndhurst 34 years ago, so that was 1991. That was also my first proper visit to the New Forest. So I had 2 nights in Lyndhurst back then, and I remember on the second night dining in the Crown for a meal. Yep, remember it quite well actually, despite the fact that it was so long ago. So I'm just walking down the main street of Lyndhurst now, and over the other side of the road there in reference to Alice in Wonderland. Maz Hatter tea rooms. Okay. Lyndhurst is known as the capital of the New Forest, since William the Conqueror established it as a royal hunting ground in 1079. It has been visited by kings and queens, staying at the royal manor throughout the centuries. Today, Lyndhurst remains the administrative heart of the New Forest. And this is the New Forest Heritage Centre, which is right by the main car park at Lyndhurst. I've just been inside to have a quick look around. There's a gift shop, so I've bought a few gifts myself to take back home with me. There's a gallery, a museum, and a cafe, so definitely worth a look if you're in Lyndhurst. So I'm walking towards the end of the high street now. And there's the Stag Hotel over there. I did pop in there the other night, but more importantly, I remember going into the Stag Hotel when I was staying in Lyndhurst way back in 1991. I've got a story to tell about that, but I'll talk about that a bit later on. Well, I'm just moving away from the village centre now, and I am heading up there straight ahead of me. That's Boltons Bench. Boltons Bench then. So this apparently commemorates the 18th century New Forest master keeper, the Duke of Bolton. But from here, even though it's not that high up, you do get some lovely views across the New Forest. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, well I'm just going to head over in that direction. I'm aiming towards Matley Wood, but I'm not going quite as far as that. I'm just going to sort of be turning off before I reach the wood. I'm just doing a little circuit around here, and then I should be heading back into Lyndhurst. So just a very short stroll today. Okay. Aren't the New Forest ponies wonderful? It's lovely to see them. Loads of them around, just don't get too close to them. What have we here? Okay. The gate's bolted, so I'm not going to get in that way. There's another gate over there. Let's see if I can get through that way. Yes, that was all right. That gate was open, so it goes into a cemetery here, but I can get round to a little chapel here. Oh yes. So this is Lyndhurst Parish Council Cemetery Chapel. But yeah, it's locked again, so I can't get in. Never mind. So I'll look around the outside anyway. Oh, well, that was a nice short wander around this little churchyard. So I couldn't get inside the chapel, so that's a shame, but never mind. I'll press on and I'll carry on heading towards Matley Wood. Well, I had to bag that trig point whilst I was passing it. I didn't stop and hang around there though and talk because there's a bench right next to it and there were people sat on it, so I didn't really want to sort of hang around there. So I'm just continuing on now, and on the map this is marked as the ridge, and it more or less runs parallel with Bewley Road. I'm going to be turning off left in a minute. Right, this is where I turn off. I head across White Moor now. Okay, so as I make my way across White Moor now, I'm not going very far, I'm just going down here and then I'm going to be looping around in a minute back towards Lyndhurst. But I mentioned that I had a story to tell as I was passing the Stag Hotel in Lyndhurst. Well, here's the story. Don't get too excited. Way back in 1991, as I say, that was my very first visit to the New Forest. I stayed in Lyndhurst for 2 nights. It was March 1991, so that would have been 2 months before my 25th birthday. At that time, I would have been living in Bristol. I was living in my mum's house in Whitehall at that time. So I would have got the train from Bristol down to Southampton. And I remember changing at Southampton and getting a connection to Ashurst, just over there. So I walked from Ashurst on the day I arrived to Lyndhurst. So I spent 2 nights in Lyndhurst. And whilst I was here, both nights I was here, after I had my meals, I remember going for a drink in the Stag Hotel on both nights. Now, whilst I was there, the first night, I was struck by a bolt of lightning. Not real lightning. That's saying, you know, when you see someone and you look at them and you are struck by a bolt of lightning. Wow, that's how it was. There was a group of young women that came in. They were probably sort of a bit younger than me. I was 24 at the time, so they probably would have been perhaps a few years younger than me at the time. I assume they all lived in Lyndhurst, but I just saw one of them and it was like, wow, struck by a bolt of lightning. I don't know who she was, I never spoke to her, and when I went there on the second night, she was there again with her friends. It was just a really weird feeling. I mean, over the years, you know, I've been attracted to various women. When you see them, you look at women and you think, oh, she's nice. But I just remember this young woman in Lyndhurst, in the Stag Hotel, I saw her and I was just struck by that bolt of lightning. It was bizarre. So I don't know who she was. Of course, I never will now, but it doesn't matter now. But yeah, it was just a really bizarre feeling. So during my 2 days that I had here in the New Forest at the time, although I was doing a couple of nights' walks, I remember I would have walked across here on White Moor at the time. I remember doing another walk, which I hope to do later today. But all that was on my mind was that woman that I'd seen in the Stag Hotel. She had just made such an impression on me. She was just on my mind all the time. It was really bizarre. So my memories of coming to the New Forest for the very first time was seeing that woman and being struck by lightning. There you go. just looping around back towards Lyndhurst now. What a glorious day it is too. I think the rest of the days that I'm staying here in Lyndhurst are going to be as good too. So yeah, I'm really lucky indeed. So I think I'm going to have to undo my coat and, well, I will do. It is getting warm, almost like summer. There's the A35 Southampton Road. So, to say, just a short distance that way is Ashurst, which is where the train station was when I arrived in the New Forest way back in 1991. But yeah, I mean, coming back to the New Forest this time, I mean, it really is a beautiful area, absolutely stunning. And I remember feeling that way when I came to Lyndhurst in 1991. But after being struck by that bolt of lightning, although I enjoyed the beauty of the New Forest, the main thing that was on my mind was that young woman who I saw in the Stag Hotel. I wonder if she still lives in Lyndhurst now, actually. That's Lyndhurst Memorial. Lovely. Okay, well, I'm practically back on the edge of the village now then. Okay, well, I'm back on the high street in Lyndhurst now. And no, I am not going inside the Stag today. Okay, well, that was a nice little short walk around the area around Lyndhurst, so I'm going to move on now and might try and do another short walk today.